Hello everyone. So guys, today we are here to with TCS iON, and we'll be discussing on the most important question that we get from a lot of students, that is role of skills, certifications and internships in interviews, right? So we have Akash Sharma from TCS iON. So he's the product manager of higher education from TCS iON, and we have Kamal Jadwani, who's the consulting partner from higher education TCS iON, and we have Atulya Kaushik, founder at PrepInsta, and Manish Agarwal. I hope you guys already know me a bit. So yeah, let's start with the session here, right?
So thank you, Manish, for introducing all of us. Let's make this very, very quick. I wanted to ask Kamal if you can tell us about the impact that COVID and the pandemic has done, and the impact specifically on different corporates and the hiring done via them.
The biggest impact from business perspective of COVID-19, the pandemic outbreak, is been on the way we work. Okay, there has been a huge change, a huge slowdown in placement process and recruitment process, and a lot of freezing has happened for organization. And unfortunately, this freeze has happened not for days or weeks; it has happened for months also in case of certain domains. The industries, as all of us know, it has varied from industry to industry, domain to domain. Like industry which required more of physical presence, like you can say travel, okay, FMCG, they have been impacted. Retail, they have been impacted quite hugely. Whereas industries which are related to IT, they have been impacted in a comparatively less manner. Of course, there have been more opportunities coming over there, but the impact has been there. The intake has reduced initially to quite a drastic extent. Okay, but along with that, it is added to a perspective. The work has continued to grow. Okay, the requirements have right now, the market has eased out with the introduction of vaccines. Okay, the market is slowly opening up and most of them are there. But there has been a huge shift along with that. One of the major changes is a huge shift in the requirement of the skill and experience. Earlier, only graduates were okay or only postgraduates were okay, but there are now certain skills related to IT which are required in each and every domain, whether you're working in pharma, whether you're working in IT, whether you're working in any domain. It can be even garments. You need to basically understand how it's happening. When we speak from the placement point of view, the placement process for all the organizations has completely transformed. Earlier, the placement process used to be offline, in person. Now it has completely transformed for any given role, be it from an entry level role to a senior level role. Virtual placements have become the new normal. Okay. The biggest challenge which has come in is earlier local talent was preferred. People had to move across the country. Now the talent is preferred. There are limited positions, whereas the competition has become global. Okay, the candidates are being hired from tier 2, tier 3 cities. And it's not just with the leading corporates like us, it is for even startups and even for other companies they are preferring. Okay, because they are more concerned with talent. The remote onboarding process, training process, okay, is there. And as far as I can understand from what we have observed, is candidates are looking for employers or corporates who would be able to give them more of a job security, because the kind of layouts that had happened, okay, during the entire process or the pandemic period was something which was not expected. Forget about not just about layouts, but I would say even about the salary cut part. Like there were good percentage of salary cuts happening for employees. So that is another thing. So it is redesigned the entire hiring process altogether, and emphasis on skills have changed. You need to have basic IT skills for any role which you're giving it. And since the competition has grown, and okay, employers are looking for candidates not just who are ready for job, who are someone who have the right experience as well, who have got some hands-on experience as well, since the market is opened up.
So, Kamal, I have a follow-up question onto it. So,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about during my campus times as well about TCS and even different corporates shifting digitally like cloud, blockchain, etc., etc. So, this is something that we at PrepInsta have also noticed that not just TCS but all the other big IT corporates are, as of these dates, looking for people who are skilled in digital technologies. In fact, TCS itself has a role which is called as TCS Digital, wherein they are expecting students to work upon all of these, new age digital skills as well. and they're expecting, students, or they are kind of preferring students, those students who already have, some exposure in these digital skills. So do you want to add something to that?
Digital skills are are something which is required. Okay, that is something the new normal. It is something which is going to be non-compromisable going into the future, because it is going to be required in each and every role. In fact, TCS had come up with a lot of trainings from our TCS iON end during the pandemic period, being given complimentary to the candidates. Okay, so that is something which is required, whether we like it or not, we want it or not. Like today, how everyone needs to know MS Office. Okay, so these digital skills are going to be as common as that going forward. Okay, that's going to be there. So any given role, okay, any given role, like we are doing this interview right now, you would need someone who understands how to edit it, how to basically, go ahead. So all those things are going to be, these are a part of digital skills. These are basics today.
So all in all, the people who have skills like ML, AI, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and even mechanical students with their Six Sigma certifications, etc., are going to be a little more preferred by corporates.
Not just TCS preferred in the sense, this is going to be something which has to be a part of your resume in one form or another if you want to go up the ladder. Because any role which you're doing, any technology you're doing in, it is being incorporated in over there. Like when we were earlier doing the online shopping, we never knew that AI or ML is going to be used, right? Today, AI is being used. Your data is being tracked. You're getting preferences basis that. So in every aspect of business today, all these technologies are being used in one form or another. So they are going to be used, and if someone who's looking for going into the technical side of the business, who's looking for getting into any IT domain or any related domain for that matter, he needs to have a clue of these things. He needs to have an idea about the same thing.
The second question coming in, guys. Okay. Kamal, the next question that we have is how corporates like TCS are actually evaluating candidates upon the skills, the certifications, and the internships that they have.
Internships, like one of the things, simple reason behind internships. Why do candidates go ahead for internship is to mark a credibility, have the eligibility of whatever knowledge and skills that they have acquired, whatever they have learned, and how precisely we can distinguish the candidates who's applying for a job or who is looking for pursuing a career from having a degree, having learned a specific skill and applying that specific skill. So more of the reason why candidates are going ahead for internship is to have more of exposure, hands-on experience, and practice to whatever they have learned, whatever skill they want to basically pursue their career into. Here, when we look for a candidate, okay, skill point of view or certification point of view in internship, we look for that to give the candidate the right kind of exposure that he requires in the real world. Okay, he needs to get the experience of working on the specific software, the specific language, the specific task. Okay, and here when he's working in, he gets a real job experience. Okay, so when a candidate is working in, he's studying parallelly, he's working somewhere parallelly. He needs to understand how he has to have the self-discipline of managing multiple tasks, doing multitasking, doing the time management. Okay, because these are the things which we have to do on job when we are working in. So this is going to be teaser he's getting into the real corporate life, what he's going to be getting into, and here he's going to be networking with a lot of people, either his mentors or his institutional stakeholders like professors or his friends or the industry resources. He'll be networking with them and getting the right information to work on the projects, whatever he's doing as a part of internship, and it will eventually help him. The certification which he gets in on successful completion will help him to build the resume, okay, and the kind of impact that he makes on his mentor, on his professors as a part of the internship will basically help him earn the right kind of recommendations, okay, right kind of references, and this will help him grow up the ladder of the career, and he gets the right guidance when he's doing the internship. He gets to know what his skills are, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. how should he be able to pursue his career and which all things he can focus on. So I would say internship is an excellent thing, okay, which will help him in getting one in getting ahead. And over here, I would like to add one last thing is we as TCS, okay, believe the candidate needs to have the right skills in over here, okay, and right exposure. Because if you have done a certification and you don't have the right kind of hands-on experience and practice on it, it is like a half-baked thing, and it's not the candidate's fault. Most of the time, candidates want in, but either the institute or the resources that they have doesn't give them the exposure to meet up or get the internship with the right corporate or the right projects they want to work on. So in Rio, what we try to do is basically we have built up the projects which will give an access to candidate independent of his device, his location, his institute, okay, to work on the projects with the leading mentors across the country and from corporates like TCS and help them to get the right certification.
So, Kamal, I have a follow-up question upon that, and just to summarize what I understood from it as well is, from a corporate point of view, they are looking more on, or they are kind of preferring internships a little more rather than just simple certifications, because internships do have a lot of networking components and hands-on component as well, which it gives a lot of credibility to any candidate who's applying to any particular company. A follow-up question upon that, there are few things that the pandemic has also changed. One of which is students are not able to do, internships. Whenever we think of internship, those are physical internships. Even I've done my internship back in my days at Tata Technologies in Noida, right? But now because COVID is there, these physical internships are not there. I guess we've also partnered with you for something, TCS iON remote internship program. Could you please talk about that? And because we think that's really helpful for people in the context that you've just given us. Just introduce, let's
Just
say.
to add to Atulya, what you mentioned is, sorry, yeah, you were you saying something?
I just want, from a student perspective, assume that the student has no idea what RIO is. If you can start from scratch and then expand the RIO program a little more.
Okay. I will explain the entire RIO part, like how it works, because Akash is the best on that. I will answer the first half on your half of the question. As you mentioned very correctly, the skill, the talent, the kind of brains that we have in the country and the youngsters today, like they are mind blowing, to be honest. These guys who are there in college today, who are the future, workforce of the country, they are like they do things which are unimaginable, to be honest. They're making things and working on it, but not all of them have the right kind of platform or the exposure. Okay, they want to go ahead and do the best kind of courses. They want to learn the best language. They want to learn the languages which interest them. Okay, but they can learn from their local domain, from their local institute. Okay, and if it is not satisfactory, they go out to partners like you, who is basically training thousands of candidates on this thing and who are getting the right kind of career support and placement also. So what we are doing is we are trying to basically see that the right candidate, the right talent gets the right exposure. When we speak physically, okay, as you have been fortunate enough, I have been fortunate enough to work in TCS and Tata Group company, it is physically not possible to accommodate all the people who deserve. Correct. To give them the exposure. Okay, so that is where we devise something like RIO, where every candidate who has the right skills and talent, there is a pre-evaluation process when they are onboarded in on RIO. Okay, and when they clear that, then they are basically given specific project related to their interest. If someone is doing Java, someone is doing Python, someone is doing any specific language, like Akash will go ahead details on that. He's basically given projects under the brand of TCS, okay, under the mentorship of leaders in the industry, okay, and having a certain amount of minimum experience, okay, who have done hands-on, and they have been given projects which are related to live project. I will not say that these are live project, but these are related to live project, what is required in the industry today. And they have been given mentoring and guidance. And we have kept it multiple variants also in over there, because today it's not that the candidate is available to go on internship all throughout all the time. Some of them might be able to spare in 1 hour a week. Some of them might be able to spare in a quarter. Depends on that. Okay. So we have tried to basically make it as friendly for candidate as possible, and to see that every talent is having the right exposure. And eventually, when TCS issues the certificate, we see to it that the candidate has thoroughly done the project. Okay, so we want to basically see that the candidate has learned rightly and he has been thoroughly evaluated and he has got the right knowledge out of or the right outcome which is expected out of internship. So that is the intent in over here, to see that maximum possible masses are able to get the talent and the skill are able to get the benefit of internships and exposure in over here. Akash, if you would like to add in something over here.
So Kamal, you have very well explained the vision of the product. So what we expect out of the product is that we want to reach the masses. We want everyone, which is there from their undergraduate and postgraduate program, to have access to internships. Because as per AICT UGC, every second or third year student have to go through an internship. So if we look from skill perspective and if we look from compliance perspective, the students are supposed to work on their internships. So that's where TCS and comes in. So as Kamal has also explained, tier 2, tier 3 cities face a lot of issues when they are looking for internships. They do not have that kind of connects with corporates. They do not have that kind of exposure. The college is fairly new. A student has joined because he want to make something out of himself. So TCS ION comes in. We offer our RIO, which is our remote internship offering. And those students can actually get industry exposure, which they should have got in the very first place. So that is what RIO's vision is. So I'll explain the product a little further. So when an intern comes, when a student comes to us and say, I want to do an internship with we have a portfolio of internships on our platform. So it's not like a student would come first, he decide I want to do a internship, and then we let him know that this is what you are supposed to work. We give them an option to choose from. Right now we have a portfolio of over 150 internships, which keeps on increasing every day. So, and the domains which we cover, they are from up and coming technologies which people are focusing on. We have RPA, we have data science, AI, ML, cyber security. All these internships are available for students across all three variants. And then we also have some niche domain internships. For example, for mechanical students, we have automotive internships. For HR students, we have talent acquisition, talent development internship. Similarly, for many students who are in non-IT domain, for example, MBA students, we have a lot of market research and market need internships where they can focus on what they want to do. So we are not confined to technical internships because TCS, as we know, we are a 5 lakh plus organization and we cater to like countless domains at this point. So we have people who have expertise in each and every domain. So we scout those people, we find out who is the expert in this domain, we request them to come and formulate these internships with us so that we can provide the right exposure to this.
So, is there any eligibility or any prerequisite that the student needs to have before they go ahead with these remote internships with TCS ION?
Right. So we do not, first thing I would like to say, we do not stop anyone from taking the internships. But given that we do have a set of prerequisites, we say that the students need to be aware of when they start going for the internship. So we let them know that these internships are preferable for students who are a part of BTech or MTech for this particular domain, for CSIT, or this is good for mechanical students, or this is good for MBA students. Apart from that, we let them know that these are the technologies which you are supposed to work on. So if you are already well versed with the technology, you are comfortable with it, it would be easier for you to work on the internship. If you are not, then you have ample amount of time to learn the technology during the internship or before it, if you want it to be a seamless experience. So we do not stop anyone, but we do let them know that this is what our expectations is when you join our internship.
So just
One
to
question I have, Akash, is so how do the students reach their college? Because anyways, if they do the internship, they have to register it with their college to get the credits that they get from the internship. So
yeah, AICT,
how do they connect with their
since you've
Right.
also partnered with AICT and they are acknowledging the credits, I guess 1, 2, and 3 credits, depending upon how long your internship was.
Yeah, it's 1, 3, and 5 credits, and yeah. So I'll start with that. See, AICT have certain guidelines, so which each and every organization need to follow when you are providing an internship. So if you are providing an internship which is compliant to those guidelines, then you can very well go ahead and suggest the institution, the colleges from where the students reside, that you can give your student 3 credits as they have done RIO 125 with us, which is a 30 days internship. So that is how the whole credit thing happens. So it is obviously, this is a recommended, these are recommended credits. We cannot allocate credits to the student because it is the college's responsibility, but we can very well recommend that it is a RIO 45. So this is a 1 credit course. You can go ahead and give that credit to the student. Now coming to the interaction between student, our TCS iON team, and the institution. So what happens is, at the time of sign up, when a student sign up with us, he is supposed to give us the name of an academic mentor and their email ID through which we connect with the academic mentor. So the academic mentor is given an access to a portal. The portal has each and every information about what a student is doing on a daily basis. Because if we talk about RIO structure, so in RIO structure, we have something called daily activity report. So whatever a student has done in a particular day, he needs to submit a report about it. Like, this is how many hours I have put in, and this is all the work I have done. And that report would be available to their academic mentor as well. So their college can very well come to our platform and see, so that there is 100% transparency and 100% compliance to AICT guidelines as well.
So one last question regarding this that I have is, so for example, a lot of students may already have done an internship earlier, which and for which they may have gotten credits from their college, 1, 3, or 5 credits already. A few of the students who are already who want to do internship or RIO program with TCS may just be for more credibility in their resume, or maybe for learning a new skill. So is that possible that they don't go to their college for registration of credits and they just do it for credibility and skill building?
Yes, definitely. So these kind of students, we have a lot of students who are just doing these internships to bring credibility and upskilling themselves. So as a part of RIO construct, at the end, a student is supposed to submit a Viva report. So Viva report is something, so a student goes back to their college and they ask them, see, I have done an internship with TCS iON. So I want you to conduct my Viva so that I can let the institution and the company know that my Viva is conducted. So after the Viva is conducted, then only we give the internship completion certificate to students. Then we get students who do not want credits, and they do not want, they just want to do internship for their credibility. So those students, instead of going back to their college and say that, please conduct a Viva for me, what they are supposed to do is, they let us know their top 5 learnings and give us a comprehensive feedback on the whole program. Right. So this is what they submit in their final Viva report, and they can very well tell us in the very beginning when they are signing up that I'm not giving my academic mentor's name and email ID. So I'm just doing it for my own interest. So that this is the whole process which happens if the student is doing it for credibility.
Let's just to add in over here, Amulya, like one of the things which you mentioned, sorry, Akash, I'm just adding in something. One of the things is like internships being done only for the sake of Viva, okay, or only for the sake of credits is no longer the norm. To be honest, as you mentioned, there are a good percentage of candidates who are going out and doing trainings, because as you mentioned, these niche courses, okay, there are a good number of institutes who are doing that. Okay, I believe you also have multiple courses. So candidates want to basically do these courses from expert institutes, from expert trainers outside as well, which are because as a part of the curriculum, you are permitted to take 1 or 2 electives. Okay, and in today's competition, candidates want to learn and skill themselves to max possible extent. So they are learning these courses from other institutes as well. Okay, lead institutes. Okay, and over there they want to get the hands-on experience. So rather than getting the internship done from that institute, they look forward for institutes who have credible partners of industry. Okay, like we are doing with you, and there are other partners also. But such institutes, like such institutes are being like, there is a good section of candidates who want to skill themselves and get ready. Okay, and this is one of the reasons, as you mentioned, can be to strengthen their resume or build credibility to their skill. But these candidates are looking beyond. Okay, so there are candidates who are doing internships, not just for credits. Okay, they understand what they want in the career, what they want to do in the future, what kind of organization they want to be associated with, or what kind of skills they want to be associated with throughout the career, and that's why they're doing it.
So what we have is we also took up a few questions from our social media team, and a lot of questions that these guys get asked by a lot of students, and some questions directly from students as well. So Manish, I guess you have list of all of those 4 to 5 questions. If you can ask those one by one.
Okay. Kamal, the most asked question, Kamal and Akash, the most asked question that we have from students is, sir, I have TCS Ninja interview coming up in a few weeks, and I have so we get this question because and I got your PrepInsta Prime subscription, along with which I got the TCS iON Rio 45E. Will TCS recognize that the Rio certification in the interview? Is the question that we have got the most.
Okay, now that's a bit of a trick question, to be honest enough. Like TCS will recognize TCS iON Rio. That's the first thing. But let me make it very clear. Okay, any internship certification which is authorized is a genuine, is recognized by us. But over here, it need not be confused with the fact. Okay, the purpose of the internship that we have defined or created over here is to get the candidate the right kind of exposure. Okay, on-job training, experience. Okay, understand the company culture. Okay, how exactly he should be deciding his career, giving him the right mentorship is what is being trained in and given in as a part of Rio in over here. But let me make it very clear: Rio is in no way to be confused with something like you finished Rio, or for that matter, any internship you do anywhere, should not be confused with, like, I finished this internship, the next thing I'll get is the offer letter along with certificate. It doesn't matter. It's not like that. We want to groom the candidate to be the best possible TCSer or to be the best possible employee of any leading organization or his dream company. And okay, that's what we are looking for grooming the candidate in that extent. And if the candidate has those skills, and if he's taking up the training and learning the right skills, he will definitely get the right career opportunity, what he's aspiring for. But it should not be confused with, as I mentioned earlier,
So
okay,
as
a ticket to directly offer letter.
as a conclusion, what you've seen is whatever all of these IT industry companies like TCS and others as well, what they demand from an candidate, those vocational skills, those technical skills, you've tried to inculcate in the certificate, in the internship training as well, in hopes that they learn all of those and are able to demonstrate in the interview. But yes, the from the crux of the question is the certification is recognized, but your skill will be something that they will still try to test out in the interview process.
Eventually, that is what will matter. Very correctly phrased.
So, second question that we have is, so it's from mechanical engineer. So, sir, I am a mechanical engineer, and there any relevant internships available for me in TCS iON Rio program?
So Manish, I'll take this question. So if you are a mechanical question, we have internships in automotive, we have internships in biodiesel domain, we have certain market research internships which are relevant, very relevant for mechanical students. So yes, if you're talking from mechanical perspective, we have internships, but if we move aside from from IT to non-IT domain, we have a lot of internships who are relevant for other domains as well. We have internship, we have already talked about this earlier, so we have internships for HR students, we have internship for in general MBA marketing students, we have internship for sales students. From IT perspective, we have internship in the very up and coming domains, so we have almost 30 domains right now on our platform, and we are bringing in new domains each and every day. So you can any day come to our platform, our microsite, and see like this is what is available, and I would like to pursue this.
So what we'll also do is somewhere on the screen, we'll also show you all the different domains and all the different technologies that are provided when you go for Rio. So I guess that would also be a helpful. You guys, anybody who's watching this video, you can take a screenshot of this frame wherein we'll put this information. So I guess that would summarize all of this. Let's go to the next question, Manish.
Okay. So the third question that we are getting from students is, sir, what is the difference between RIO 45, RIO 125, and RIO 210?
Right. So again, I'll take this question. So basically, I'll explain two differences. First is the structural difference, and second is what extra thing which the students are getting. I'll start with the RIO 210. So RIO 210, as the name suggests, is a 210-hour internship, which the student is supposed to complete in 45 days. So it is a 45 days, 210-hour internship. As a part of an internship, apart from the basic things which you get in RIO 45 and 125, the extra things which you get is an industry readiness skill. So industry readiness skill is a soft skill certification. For example, we have a training in TCS. When you join TCS for the first time, we have soft skills training. So very similar thing we have provided for our interns as well. Apart from that, we have two recorded webinars, two-hour recorded webinars, which are conducted by the industry mentor. So those webinar would help us and would help the intern understand what the internship is all about, what he is supposed to do, what is the expectation. So if we come down to RIO 125, so RIO 125 is 125-hour internship, which the student is supposed to complete in 30 days. It has everything which RIO 210 has, just not your soft skill part. The industry readiness skills, it does not come with. And then we go to RIO 45. RIO 45 is a 10 days internship and you have to work for 45 hours in those 10 days. And that do not have your webinar component as well. So RIO 125 have webinars and soft skill. RIO 210 have webinar soft skill. RIO 125 has webinars, and RIO 45 have your normal structure which you are supposed to follow in 10 days.
Kamal, sir, the next question that we generally have from students is, sir, let's say me and my friend, both of them are having same number of skills. Both of us scored the same in the written round. Both of us, performed equally in the interviews as well. So let us say they are identical. Just the only difference between them is one is having certifications and the other one is not for the skills that they have. So will corporates like TCS differentiate, and will they give higher preference to the one having certifications?
First thing, if you come to corporates like TCS, okay, we can recruit both. They both are equally good. Okay, but just for the sake of discussion, okay, I'll be coming in over here. Like, why exactly we are talking about something like an internship being valuable over here? Okay, is you have to understand the value proposition which comes out of a person who's having a hands-on training, who has an on-job experience. Okay, internship, if he has done that, one of the kind, both of them are equally skilled. Okay, but internship gives you a proper validation of you having the right on-job training. Okay, you having done the research experience, because when you're working on a project, you have to research for the topic, you have to work on it, you have to share it with your mentor, you have to take the feedback of it. Okay, and which happens in the real life scenario. When I'm working on a job, I have to share my findings with my supervisor and then get a revert on it and then improve upon it at the same time. Okay, we get exposure to experience of working in a real life scenario in industry, understanding the culture, working within a specific norm, how exactly things are supposed to be done. Okay, which doesn't happen only by getting the skill. So a person who has an exposure to how the industry is working in, how the job role is being performing, and definitely it will add a value to your resume. Okay, it will strengthen your resume for sure, and it will give you like you have gained a professional networking when you're doing internship. You have got a more of a clarity compared to a person who has only done a skill or a certification, but someone who has done the actual internship. Okay, and that too with a brand like TCS or something which is equally good like that, will basically help them. Okay, so he can use it as a reference, he can use it as a recommendation, compared to the person who has equal skills, okay, but does not have the hands-on experience or training or internship. So that will definitely make a difference in the final count.
So I'll try to summarize all of this again. We are at the very end of our session. So this is the reason also why we partnered with TCS iON, right? Since PrepInsta was providing all the trainings and different certifications for different skills like machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, etc., etc. More of them are coming up at the very same end. So yes, from an industry perspective, there is some validation with the certification that we provide. However, there's one thing that is missing, that is exposure and on-job, experience. So that is why also we partnered with TCS iON, and anybody who gets Prime also gets included TCS iON certification, RIO certification as well, in hopes that they can utilize the certification to or utilize the internship to learn a lot of on-job skills. How do you behave in a corporate? How do you function in a corporate? What are different cultural aspects that you also need to take care of? And then get some credibility of being trained and certified by by one of the leading corporates all over, which is a global corporate, so all over the world, right? Uh, so that's pretty much about from us, I guess. Manish, have we covered anything?
So the next question that we have, Akash and Kamal, is students are morely, asking questions like, sir, what if I get onboarded for TCS iON RIO internship? What if I'm stuck at some point in time, or what if I need some assistance during my internship? Whom do I reach out to, and how do I reach out to? So basically, they're asking about the point of contact
Right.
during their
So
internship.
I'll answer this question, Manish. So when a student is onboarded and he get his internship, so there is a thing which we have in place, which is called a digital discussion room. So the digital discussion room is a place where it is kind of a community where every intern who has ever been a part of that internship is there. And one person who is also there is your industry mentor. So industry mentor is your point of contact whenever you have any query regarding your industry project. So if you are stuck somewhere, you need some support. So industry mentor is the one who is going to support you. You just write your question over here and the industry mentor would report, and there would be a couple more moderators in the community who would make sure that industry mentor knows that you have posted this query. So apart from that, if you have some other technical issues, some platform issues which you are facing, you can reach out to us through our help desk email. So it is rio.support@tcs.com. So I think I would request Manish and Atulya to put down somewhere in the video so that students have access to it. I would also share an FAQ document and the link to our microsite, so that can also be put somewhere down in the video. So that would be really helpful.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of questions, I guess, we were not able to answer, and many specific questions that they may have to understand a little more about Rio
Right.
would be very helpful. So, guys, there are two ways. Either if you're already a PrepInsta Prime subscriber and if you purchase it for more than a year, you will already have your Rio certification included. So you can always ask us for your certification. If not, then you will also put the TCS's link on the in the description below, or TCS iON's Rio link in the description of the video. You can go ahead and directly get your certification or Rio internship from there as well. So there are three options, I guess, 45, 125, and 210, if I'm not wrong. If in future, let's say PrepInsta decides to have our own standalone Rio as well, so we'll put that link. But as of now, go to TCS iON's website, microsite there. So, thank you guys for joining us. It was a really fun session, and I guess a lot of informational session for our audience. Let's try to do this, a little more frequently. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask all of those in the comment section. What we'll also do is probably for the first few days, we'll get in touch with TCS and get all of those comments get answered from them as well. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, Atulya. Thanks, Manish. And any questions, as you mentioned, if you get from the team, you can shoot back to us and we will revert back to you as soon as possible.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.